I know it's late in Argentina. Okay, so
Yeah,
we're
it
live
is.
now. Okay, so let's start with the quiz.
Yep.
Let me open it. Okay, have it open.
I'm opening mine here.
Okay.
I have questions with 3 of the questions, so I know Travis will be able to probably point out what I was missing, but
Well, I took copious notes on mine because I printed off. So I'm like, hold on.
I just did it on my notebook.
yeah, same. I have a piece of paper with me with all the questions I replied to. So okay.
All right,
Okay, so who wants to read?
I'll read.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right, consider 5 individuals with different occupations. Now, in the barter system, which one of the following pairs has a double coincidence of wants?
I found
Okay.
Eddie.
I said
Yeah.
none.
None.
No, it's Deidre and Calvin, because Deidre bakes bread and Calvin
Uh-huh.
wants bread. Remember, the double coincidence means
Mhm.
one has to produce and the other one has to want it.
Oh,
But
but
it also need it also requires the other person to provide.
that sounds like the case for any of them.
Yeah, because then Deidre wants taxes prepared, but Calvin does just fixing computers. So the way I took it was in both ways that they need to satisfy one each other, not just one way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put none of the above is correct as well.
Mhm. I selected D.
All right. The existence of money reduces specialization, makes trade easier, allows for barter, or hinders production.
Said B.
B makes trade easy.
Now, which of the following is a store of value? Cash and stocks, cash but not stocks, stocks but not cash, neither cash nor stocks.
Said
Pick,
B.
Choose A.
A.
4. Which list ranks assets from most to least liquid?
Put B.
Choose B. Yeah,
B. Currency, stocks, fine art.
Mhm.
correct.
When colonists in Virginia used tobacco as money, their money was
A.
A. Commodity money.
Commodity money.
Yep.
6. Which of the following is not included in M1? Currency, demand deposits, saving deposits, traveler's checks. Savings deposits.
Yep.
Saving deposits are included in M1 but not M2, M2 but not M1, M1 and M2, neither M1 nor M2.
I put B.
M2, but not M1.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of answered that off the previous one. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Economists call an institution designed to oversee the banking system and regulate the quantity of money in the economy as a central bank, charter bank, national bank, or state bank.
Central bank.
Can we go back to questions 6 and 7 if that's okay?
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, Alex.
Hey guys.
All right. So 6, we picked C.
Okay.
Okay, because the savings deposit, it's part of M2, but not part of M1. So it's B for 7.
And B for 7.
Yeah.
C for 6, B for 7.
All right. And then A for 8.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
9, all federal purchases and sales of corporate stocks and bonds are conducted at the New York Fed's trading desk. Government bonds are conducted at the New York Fed's trading desk. Real estate and other real assets are conducted by the Federal Open Market Committee.
Is it A?
I chose B.
It's B.
I chose B.
Because remember, the
Government
Fed
bonds.
doesn't deal with corporate stocks, real
Mhm.
estate, none of that. It's just
Government.
government.
It's government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a bank's T account, which are part of the bank's assets, both the deposits made by its customers and reserves, deposits made by its customers but not reserves, reserves but not deposits made by its customers, neither deposits made by its customers nor reserves.
Put A.
Two.
A.
I chose C. Reserves but not deposits made by its customers.
Yeah,
I put
Because
C as well.
yeah, because
See,
it takes.
yeah, because in the book it had the T, and then you just had to look over there and go, assets are over here.
Mm.
Deposits are a liability because they have to give you back your money.
Wow,
Yep.
makes
Yeah. Now, a bank has 8,000 in deposits and 6,000 in loans. It has loaned out all it can give the reserve. It has loaned out all it can give the reserve requirement. Terrible sentence. It follows that the reserve requirement is
C.
C, 25%.
25%. Yes.
You know how you got there?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
All right. Now, if the reserve ratio is 5%, then $500 of additional reserves can create up to
B.
10,000 of new money. Yep.
Travis, would you mind explaining this one? How did you come up with 10,000?
Okay. The money multiplier.
Uh-huh.
It's 1 over R. R meaning the rate.
Okay.
So you had that fraction. So then
1
you'll
over
wind up.
5.
So it's 1 over 0.05
Mm-hmm. Correct.
because it's 5%. So you get a 20.
Mm-hmm.
And then you multiply that by the reserve, by the amount of money that was deposited.
Which was 500. So it
was
gave it the
500.
10,000.
So I'll give you 10,000.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. 13. If the reserve ratio is 8%, then a decrease in the reserves of 6,000 can cause the money supply to fall by as much as.
This one is the same procedure, right?
It's similar. The decrease in money supply equals the decrease in reserves divided by the reserve ratio. So here, it's going to be 6,000
Mm-hmm.
divided by 8%,
By 8%. Okay.
which is going to give you 75,000.
Thank you.
Wow.
Like, I wish I could always use my notes when I'm doing this stuff for the quiz, for the exams. All right. In Ugoland, the money supply is 8 million and the reserves are 1 million. Assuming that people hold only deposits and no currency, and the banks hold no excess reserves, then the reserve requirement is
B.
B.
Chose B.
B.
12.5.
Yep. Now, the federal funds rate is the interest rate that banks charge one another for loans, banks charge the Fed for loans, the Fed charges banks for loans, or the Fed charges Congress for loans.
I chose A.
Say.
A. Banks charge one another.
Watch the fun-filled video. You really got that one, man.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Ugh. All right. Which of the following can banks use to borrow from the Federal Reserve? The discount window or term auction facility. The discount window, but not the term auction facility. The term auction facility, but not the discount window. Banks cannot borrow from the Federal Reserve. Only the government can.
Would it be?
I chose A.
It's A.
I chose it as well.
I guess it can be the discount window or the other one.
Or the term auction facility.
Mhm.
All right. When the Fed conducts open markets, it buys Treasury securities, which increases the money supply. Buys Treasury securities, which decreases the money supply. It borrows money from member banks, which increases the money supply. It lends money to member banks, which decreases the money supply. I got A.
Yes, A.
Okay, just kind of remember it this way: when the Fed, buys, it's putting money out there into the market.
Mhm.
When it's buying the Treasury bonds. Now, when it sells, then what it's doing is it's recouping all that money back into the Fed. So the money supply is reducing.
Mhm.
All right. All right. Scenario 29-2. The monetary policy of Tassie is controlled by the country's central bank, known as the Bank of Tassie. The local unit of currency is the TAS. Aggregation banking statistics show that collectively the Bank of TAS holds 3 million TASs of required reserves, 75 million TASs of excess reserves, has issued 7,500 million TASs of deposits, and hold 225 million TASs of Tassian treasure bonds. The Tassians prefer to use only demand deposits, so all money is on deposit at the bank. Suppose the Bank of Tassie loaned the banks of Tassie 10 million tassers. Suppose all that both the reserves requirement and the percentage deposits held as excess reserves stay the same, but how much would the money supply change? All right. So the change in money supply is the loan amount
I feel like this one was
divided.
difficult.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Here. So it's the change in money supply divided by the loan amount over the reserve requirement ratio. Okay.
Mhm.
But the total reserve equals M times demand deposit. So we had to figure this out first. So we had 300 million. And then we're going to get 75 million more. So we're going to add them together. So that's 375. That's going to equal M times, and our demand deposits is 7,500 million. So doing a little algebra here, we added up the 375 on one side, and then we divided that by 7,500. So M equals 5%. So when we take that 5% and we go down to that first equation of change in money supply,
Mhm.
the loan amount is going to be 10 for 10 million, and then we're going to times it by 5%. So it's going to give us 200 million.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why everyone needs a Travis on their classes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is what I wound up doing. Like I said, it's all my wonder. But yeah. So once you had to figure, it was a 2-part question. So I was like, ugh. All right. During a bank run, depositors decide to hold more currency relative to deposits, and banks decide to hold more excess reserve relative to deposits. This is going to cause, let's see, both the decision to hold relatively more currency and the decision to hold relatively more excess reserves will make the money supply increase.
Yeah.
Both the decision to hold relatively more currency and the decision to hold relatively more excess reserves will make the money supply decrease. B.
I chose B.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agree.
I
Mhm.
did too.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just more in the bank, and so they're like, or they're just holding on to the cash, and the bank's going, we're not loaning, so money supply is going down. All right, the Fed's control of money supply is not precise because Congress can always make changes to the money supply. There are not always government bonds available for purchase when the Fed wants to perform open market operations. The Fed does not know where all the U.S. currency is located, and the amount of money in the economy depends in part on the behavior of depositors and bankers.
D.
I chose D.
D is in dog.
Yeah. That's better than C.
Before we get off, could we go through questions 1 through 4?
Okay,
If that's okay.
not a problem.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So 1, we picked none of the above because nobody's producing what the other person wants.
Right.
Both ways. So because you only have one person producing one item, but that same person doesn't get the same item that they want. Okay. 2, the existence of money, because it makes trade easier. B, which of the following is a store of value? Cash and stocks.
So A.
So A. And then
Would it be?
let's see. What was it?
Was it B or 4?
B. Yeah.
Yeah.
Currency, stocks, fine art. Because you're looking at, what's the quickest thing that you can sell to or trade, to get what you want.
Mhm.
True. All right. Shall we submit?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
$20 out of 20.
Correct.
Yay.
Yep.
Well, sweet guys. Everyone have a good holiday.
Yeah, you
Awesome.
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let me just end that.